Hello, my name is Sally Pinto, and I'm the Program Director for the Yonkers NORC, Neighborhood Naturally Occurring Retirement Community. We serve seniors 60 plus in Northeast Yonkers. We are under the auspices of WJCS and the Yonkers Office for the Aging. We also have a resource specialist and a nurse on staff. We conduct virtual programming in partnership with the Yonkers Public Library on a daily basis. Enjoy the program.
Happy Tuesday. Let's go ahead and get right into it. Okay, we're going to start with our chin tucks and our head turns like always. So seated or standing, we're nice and elongated. Think of that marionette string, like think of the space in between those vertebrae. Okay, lifting up, roll the shoulders back, and we're going to tuck. 10, 9, small movement, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, staying nice and long through that vertebrae. We're going to go ahead and turn and look over one shoulder, back to center, and now the other shoulder. Again, turn, center, 3, center, 4, center, 5, center, 6, center, 7, center, 8, center, 9, center, 10, center. Give me one more the other side. 11, center, because somewhere around there I miscounted. I just know we started on this. So, okay, so next we're going to go into a warm-up. We're going to do 30 seconds per move, and there's 6 exercises. So this is going to be a 3-minute warm-up. And then we have 4 blocks today. We have 4 blocks of 45 seconds of work, 15 seconds of transition recovery time, 3 exercises in each block. So they're 9-minute blocks. Okay, so into that warm up, 30 seconds, we're marching in place. So if you're seated here, just remember opposite hand and knee, whether you're seated or sitting, okay? And you're on the edge of your seat, I'm going to march in place standing, okay? Here we go. 30 seconds is going on the clock in 3, 2, and 1, okay? So it's continuous, we're moving this whole time. So get that opposite hand and foot pattern going. Lifting those feet up high, whether you're seated or standing, okay? Next, we're gonna do a lateral side step, side to side. So if you're seated, it's gonna be a lateral tap, alternating tap. And we're gonna do some arm raises with that, which I'll show you when we get there, okay? Good, we have about 5 more seconds here. 3, 2, and 1. Now we're gonna tap, tap. Okay, so if you're seated, you're just tapping those legs out to the side, alternating. After this, we're going to go into our total body extension, which is our hinge movement where we fold forward and then we lift our arms up into the air. The arms are like our pendulum, like momentum. Okay, that's next in 3, 2, 1. So whether you're seated or standing, you're hinging forward. And then the arms come up. Okay, if you're advanced, you can come up onto your tippy toes if you're standing. It's easier to come onto your toes if you're seated. You don't have to worry about that balance component as much. So if you're seated, I do recommend it. Go at your own pace so that you don't get dizzy here. It's okay to slow this down. You don't have to go at my speed. We're going to do butt kickers next. Here we go. So if you're seated, you're tapping the toes back. And if you're standing, the heels are coming back towards the glutes. I'm just doing this straight arm pull back. Next, we're going to do rope pulls, okay? So, whoops, just kicking the stuff in here. All right, so rope pulls. I want you to keep everything like nice and tight here, and pull, pull, pull. So whether you're seated or standing, pull, pull. Make sure you're exhaling as you come down. These surprisingly can get your heart rate up. You wouldn't think they would, but they do. And you're just pretending you're pulling a rope. All right, last one here. We're going to do a lateral tap and switch, okay? Just like this. So if you're seated, this one's tap, 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 okay? And pretend you're pushing something away with that palm. Feel that nice thoracic twist through the spine. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, there is our 3-minute warm up. All right. Our first block is going to be, remember, we started introducing some new exercises last week. Okay, so we're continuing on with that. So we are doing our double step, step, step with this external rotation. Okay, so the knuckles are facing the floor. If you're on the floor here, tap, 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 tap. Okay, round one I'll always do on the floor, okay, or in the chair. The next one is our sit squats, okay? So again, if you're using weights, holding them down here is a little more grip oriented, okay? Like carrying grocery bags and things up the stairs, laundry baskets. Here is just a little more core oriented if you hold the weights up here. And you don't have to use any weights. Remember our seated option, leg extensions, okay? All right, and then our last one is going to be our double row, 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 clean, curl, press, okay? So we've got that hinge. There's a lot of stuff going on here. We hinge it down, row, row, stand it up, curl, press, okay? All right, so 45 seconds per move. We're going to get started here. So optional weights here. Let me get the timer on. We're starting with our double side step with that external rotation of the rotator cuff here. Okay, really good for posture and shoulder health. Okay, all right, here we go. Ready and begin. So side step, side step, side step. Keeping those elbows close to the rib cage. Just working in that rotational angle here. See how your body's moving in this 3-dimensional pattern here. We're going to sit squats next, or if you're staying seated with me, you're doing alternating leg extensions. Two and one, okay? Sit squats or alternating leg extensions. It's so loud, isn't it? Okay, let's turn that down some. All right, so let's get ready. In 3, 2, and 1, here we go. I'm doing the seated variation. Okay, I'm keeping my foot flexed, right? And I'm squeezing. I'm feeling the front of my leg work right here. Squeeze. I'm trying to elongate and lengthen. If your knee doesn't want to straighten all the way, it's okay to have a little bit of a bend to your knee. You don't have to lock it out, okay? Good. After this, we have our double row to curl and press, okay? So there's that hinge pattern in there. Remember, we push our hips back to keep our back nice and neutral and straight. 3, 2, and 1. So optional weights. All right. So if you're seated with me, you're on the edge of your chair, so you have room to hinge forward. Okay. Curl, press. Okay. Here we go. 3, 2, begin. Row, row, stand it back up straight, curl, press. Okay. Again. Good. 10 more seconds here. Then we're going to start round 2. And I'm going to move to the standing variations for the next 2 rounds. Please feel free to stay seated if that's best for you, though. All right, and time. Okay, so going back to this top. Okay, we're doing these double side step with the external rotator cuff. Okay. All right, so here we go. Let's get ready. Begin. Side step, side step. Some of you might be familiar with this and this shoulder move if you've done physical therapy for your shoulders before. It's often called a no money drill because your hands are kind of, up like you're cupping for change when there's nothing there. Good, less than 10 seconds here. And time. Okay, our sit squat is next, or our alternating leg extension. Remember, you can have your weights here, or use no weights. Okay, all is acceptable. All right, feet are about hip to shoulder width apart. And here we go. We're going to tap the glutes down, drive up through the heels. Okay, press the floor away with the heels of your feet. Squeeze the glutes at the top. Right, creating a strong mind-muscle connection. Remember, we always are more concerned with the quality of our work over the quantity. So 45 seconds feels too long. You just take some time off, okay? Increase your rest time. You can either start late or stop early. And you could also mix rounds up. If you're somewhere in between seated and standing and 3 rounds of the standing work is too much, maybe 2 rounds of the seated work and 1 round of the standing work. Okay, you can be creative with what works for your time. Okay, next one is our double row curl and press. I'm going to show you this from the side so you see the hinge. All right, my feet are underneath my hips here. I'm going to hinge, pushing my hips back, row, row, up, curl, press, and return. Okay, so I think of my hips going backwards versus my head going down. All right. The hinge is initiated through the hips, therefore that's where we want to think about the bend starting. We don't want to think of our head just falling forward. All right. 10 more seconds here. Two. And time. Okay, one more round. All right, so back to our double side step. If you have a very light pair of weights or you're using water bottles, you might be able to get away with using something, but I'd be careful. Some of the 5 pounds is probably too heavy. Okay, but if you have 1 pound or water bottles, you could do that, or you could stick with me and say body weight. So our last round through, and then we're going to move on. After this, we have our sit squats or our alternating leg extensions. About 10 more seconds. And time. Okay. Sit squat or alternating leg extension. All right. Feet are about hip to shoulder width apart. We're in between there. Okay. And here we go. We're going to sink those hips back, tap down, drive, push the heels into the floor. All right. Think of that's what's lifting you to standing, is you pressing down through your feet. And when you kind of are heel oriented, that helps you engage your glutes. Okay. That helps you activate. Excellent. About 10 more seconds. 5, 2, and 1. Okay. Next one is our double row to curl and press. Okay. This time I'm going to show it forward. See, my feet are right under my hips here. All right. And here we go. Push our hips back, row, row, up, curl, press. Almost there. 2, and time. Okay, block 1 is done. First 5 minutes down. We are going to get a drink here real quick, go into our second one. So we had a little break from those lunges, but I don't want to break on them too long. So there's some lunges back in here. So our first exercise is jumping jacks, modified jumping jacks. Okay. All right. From the ground. This movement, when you come out to the side like this, is called abduction, and it works that side glute. I love pairing that type of movement with a lunge movement, which the lunge gets more of the glute medius, the bigger muscle. And then our lunge, okay? Static again today, all right? So you're gonna put your feet where they are, okay? And they're gonna stay there, all right? And we're gonna lower down, drive up. Now, if you're here, that's good. You feel it there, but stay there. You don't have to go down as low as I do. It's just, you know, what I'm used to doing here. Pressing through the heel of the foot, engaging the glute in the back, okay? Our seated option, which you guys know if you're with me, I love this one. This is great, okay? All one side, press. Press. All right, I'm trying to push something heavy away with my foot. I'm kind of leaning back slightly. My core is engaged. And by pressing through the heel, you're really going to feel your glute and your quadricep work on this particular exercise. So all 45 seconds on one leg, all 45 on the other. I am starting with our modified version in the chair here. So modified jumping jacks are first. Let's get ready in 3, 2, and 1. Here we go. Remember, like I said, you can always play around. Maybe you want to do 2 sets seated with and you could do, maybe you're like, well, I can do all the jumping jacks standing, but I prefer doing the leg press versus the lunges. Okay, so you do that one seated. Okay, so see how you can play around with these. You know, you don't have to always be in the chair or always be standing, and you don't have to always do all of your sets in one position either. You can just mix it around to how it suits your body best and how you're feeling that day, you know. Almost there. 2 and 1. Okay. So static lunge or seated leg press, all on one leg for the full 45 seconds. Let's see if I can get the side view. I wonder. Yeah, I'm going to do a little bit of a side view here so you can see. So here we go. I'm gonna press and down. So I'm feeling my core engaged because you notice I'm slightly leaned back. I don't know if you always get that on the camera when I'm facing it. And I'm feeling my leg is fired up here, okay, especially since I'm pressing through the heel of my foot. I really feel this. And notice the difference between muscle discomfort. You know, sometimes you can push through, and notice when it starts to feel like acute pain or something is really starting to nag you that you need to just rest, okay? Maybe switch up. And time, okay? Other side. 10 seconds to start. And always remember, even though we have water breaks in between our 9 blocks, whenever you need water, you take a sip, okay? Here we go, other side. Feeling that core, slightly lean back. We're halfway and I'm feeling my leg working pretty good here. This is probably our hardest exercise we do today, this or the lunging, either one of these. Legs are big muscle groups, so it takes a lot of effort. 2, and time. Okay, round 1, we're going back to the top. I am going to go to standing this round with our modified jumping jacks. And remember, if you're advanced and you want to throw a couple regular jumping jacks into the mix, you can do that too. Here we go in 3, 2, 1, begin. You go at a pace that's comfortable for you. Almost there. 10 seconds. 3, 2, and 1. Okay. Going back to our seated leg press all in one line or our static lunges. So I'm going to stagger my feet here. I kind of have one foot on one side, the back foot on the other side of the chair. There's space in between. So I'm steady, lower down, drive through the heel so you feel it through your glute. The chair helps provide that stability so you can focus a little less on the balance and more on the muscle activation. Remember your range of motion. If you're right here, excellent. Okay, just focus on pressing through the heel and feeling the glute. You're going to feel this and this. You may even feel the back leg a little bit. That's normal, especially if you have some tight muscles, tight hip flexors. But we are predominantly working the muscles in the front leg. 2, and 1. Okay, shake it out. We got to do the other leg. All right, so again, I have my front foot's lined up with one side of the chair. My back foot's lined up with the other side of the chair. So I have that space in between my legs. Here we go. We're going to lower down, drive it up. So just like our sit squats, we're using that front heel to press up. All right. And remember, it's always quality over that quantity. So if you need to take a little rest, sometimes you might need to rest up here for a few seconds, do that. And then see if you can get another good rep in. Okay. After we get done this side, we have one more round to go through and then we're done block 2. We're almost there. We have 5 seconds. 3, 2, and 1. Okay. One more round through. Back to our modified jumping jacks from a seated or standing position. In 5, 3, 2, and 1. Here we go. Remember, if you're advanced, you can always throw a couple regular ones in there if you recall, okay? Or maybe you do 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, okay? Or you just stick right here. Last round of jumping jacks. And time, okay? Last set of seated leg press or static lunges, okay? All on one side. Let's get in position. All right, here we go. Start a little late if you need to. It's normal to feel your heart rate a little bit elevated right now. Breathing a little heavy. Okay, we are using our cardiovascular system and we're working large muscle groups. That's going to elevate your heart rate some. Good. We're almost done this side. Let me just have to even out and then we'll break, get some water and move on to our third block. 5 more seconds. 2 and 1. Whew, starting to feel that, huh? All right, deep breaths here. Okay, in through the nose, out through the mouth. That helps get that oxygen back to your muscles so they can work hard again, okay? All right, here we go, other side. And drive it up, okay? Remember, we're predominantly working the front leg, all right? That's the one that's doing the most work. It's not uncommon to feel some work through the front of the thigh here on the other side, especially if you're really tight through here. You're gonna feel that pull, okay? But driving through that front heel to feel the glute activate. Holding on to the support of the chair just to let us focus on the muscle a little bit more than our balance. We're almost done. We've got 5 more seconds here. 2 and 1. Excellent work. Let's take a break. Okay, that's the toughie one right there. All right, so let's go ahead and get a drink, recover. And I'm going to chat while you're recovering here. All right, another new move here. Good morning to oblique knee raise and oblique twist, okay? So from a seated position, with or without one weight, right, we're our hinge pattern. Okay, so I'm hinging forward. I'll show this from this side. Okay, so look how nice and tall I'm sitting up here. I don't want to be here. I want to hinge forward. Only I'm not looking at the camera. I'm looking this way, right? Hinge forward. And then you're going to knee twist. Hinge forward. Knee twist. Hinge. Knee. So I really want you to think of that, that length in the spine, okay? You want to avoid rounding over like this, okay? And how you do that when you're standing, again, is like I always say, you push those hips back. Don't think of your head going forward. Think of your hips going back. So pushing the hips back, up, twist, hinge, up, twist, okay? All right, and then the next one we have is our oblique side bends with a crossbody tap. So I'm gonna tap, tap, tap. I really want you to think of the side bend, okay? The side bend portion, we're working the oblique muscles there. Okay, so think of that kind of bend there, okay? It looks the same if you're seated here. Your tap's a little different. It's more of a abduction where it kind of rotates out a little bit, but it's tap, tap, okay? And then our last one is sumo squats, okay? So your modified version, chair version, tap. Let's do it this way today, leg extension, tap, leg extension, tap, leg extension. And then your standing sumo is feet are wider than my shoulder width, right? Wider, toes are facing out, knees stay in the direction of the toes. Lift it up, tap it down, up, tap it down, up, okay? All right, let's get back to it. Starting with our good morning to knee raise, oblique twist. Okay, so I'm gonna do this from the chair position first here. Let's get ready. You can do this from standing if you're ready right away. In 3, 1 weight or no, none. If you have no weight, do this with your arms, okay? All right, here we go. 3, 2, and 1. Here we go. Gonna hinge it, nice neutral spine, up, Give me a nice exhale when you do that knee twist. Exhale, okay, like you're voiding the air out of your stomach, and it makes you twist a little bit further because it's not filled up with air. Think of that marionette string, keeping you nice and long, space between those vertebrae. And time, okay? Optional weights for our side bends here, okay? Optional weight, and it's that cross body tap. So when I'm bending to my right, I'm tapping out with my left, okay? It's like a diagonal, all right? Here we go, ready? And begin. Again, I'm really focused on feeling that bend in the obliques, the sides of my waist. I'm seated or standing tall. Five more seconds. And time, okay? And then our sumo squats are the last one in this block. So I am going to do the seated variation. You can do the standing with or without weights. Here we go in 3, 2, and 1. I'm gonna lateral tap it and then leg extension on the same time. So just switching up how we do it sometimes. Double work on one leg before we alternate. Tap, step, tap. And time, okay. So that is our first round through. I'm gonna move to standing here, all right? And then remain seated if that's better. We're going back to our good morning to our knee raise and oblique twist. I'm gonna show up from the side this first round here. Okay, my feet are under my hips. Here we go. I'm going to push my hips back. That's the hinge or the good morning. Squeeze my glutes to stand it up. Twist. Hinge, up, twist. Nice little core circuit here with some extra legs in. The standing variation forces us to work on our coordination and balance. Almost there. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, let's get ready for those oblique side bends with that cross body tap, right? So again, if my right shoulder is coming down, my left leg's coming out, okay? 3, 2, and 1. Focus on that side bend. Feel that little fold in the waist. And time, okay? And then our last one is our sumo squat. And remember, if you're staying seated, it's the lateral tap, leg extension. Other side, lateral tap, leg extension. Otherwise, those feet are outside of my shoulders, okay? My heels are outside of my shoulders, my toes are out. And just tap it down, drive it up. Still pressing the heels through the floor to get the maximum glute activation we can throughout this exercise, okay? Working inner thighs, glutes. After this, we have one more round through, and then we're onto our final block, okay? Two and one, okay. One more time through, okay? Good morning to good morning is the hinge with when the weight's up here, all right, with our oblique knee twist, okay? Here we go. Hinge, squeeze the glutes up, twist. Hinge, twist. Nice and controlled. It does require concentration and balance, okay? Anyone else's body feeling nice and warm now? All of a sudden, I broke a sweat. Three, two, and one. Okay. Oblique bends with the lateral tap. Okay. In 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. I'm really focused on trying to feel that oblique bend, trying to stay nice and tall, right? Not bending forward. Like thinking about being in between two panes of glass, right? You're trying not to touch the front panel or the back panel. Almost done here. All right, last one. Sumo squats or your lateral tap to leg extension on each leg, okay? We're gonna break after this exercise and head on into our fourth and final block for today. Here we go, nice and wide with that stance. Tap it down, drive the heels down in. All right, 5 more seconds. 2, and time. Okay, rest, recover. We have one more block. Okay, so now we have our alternating side step with a lateral raise to comboing it with an alternating front raise. So what that looks like is lateral tap, front raise, front raise. Okay, lightweight here. Okay, standing is lateral tap, front raise, front raise. I want you to think, when you see my arm go up, can you almost imagine that if there was a string tied to my arm, it's my elbow that's guiding that up? That's what you need to think about. Okay, think about it coming up from here versus like the knuckles. See the difference here if I'm like knuckle raising it here? That's going to create a little more tension and strain. If you even like ever so slightly bend the arm here and think elbow leads it up. Elbow leads it up. Okay, it's going to be a little easier on your shoulders and neck. Okay, so that's, we have lateral tap, front raise. Okay, and then we have our double bicep curl. We're going to hold it at the top. So I'm going to curl curl, hold, hinge, kick back, up. All right. So this one's a little tricky. It's tricky for me. So it's seated. Here we go. Curl, hold it at the top, hinge, kick back, hold it at the bottom, up. Okay. I forget to hold it at the bottom to return up. So that's, it challenges our mind, which is actually a really good thing to do with our exercises, to kind of challenge our mind while we're in movement patterns. It does really help with cognitive responses and helping to prevent dementia, Alzheimer's, the onset of all that kind of stuff there. So, and our last one is our butt kicker and row. Nothing new here. Okay, tried and true. All right, so that rowboat row arm, all right, and it looks, standing. Okay, all right, so let's get into it. I'm going to do the first one seated. We've got the alternating lateral tap with an front raise. So here we go. In 3, 2, and 1. Here we go. We're going to, remember, I'm leading through the elbows. Lateral, front, lateral, front, lateral. And it doesn't matter if you forget, or like, oh, wait, if you start on this arm, then it's okay. It doesn't matter which arm you start with for those front raises. And time. Okay. Next, we have the double bicep curl with the top hold to the double tricep kickback with the bottom hold. Okay. Let's see if I keep on saying that in my head, maybe I'll get it right, because I usually mix this one up. Here we go. We're going to bicep curl, hold, hinge, kickback, hold, hinge. There's one. bicep curl, hinge, kickback, curl. Forces you to stay present in your workout, which is good. Almost there. 5 seconds. And time. Okay. Butt kicker and row. So this one's a body weight, more of a cardio one here. Okay. So again, think of those rowboat like oars, like you're rowing a rowboat. Okay. In 3, 2, and 1. For the seated position, I'm on the edge of my chair and I'm tapping my toes back. This gets our middle traps, our rhomboids. It's like all in the middle of our back, like right underneath our shoulder blades in the middle. And it also gets our hamstrings, works the hamstring muscles in the back of the leg. If you get tired, if you're really feeling this through the back, sometimes right now I'm feeling this in the back side of my upper back there. You need to shake it out for a second. That's okay. Do it. Feels good. 2 and 1. Okay. So round 1, we have 2 more. I'm going to move to our standing variation, but please feel free to stay seated if that's best. We're going to do our alternating side step, lateral with the lateral raise to an alternating front raise. In 2, 1, here we go. Remember, elbows are leading. Front raise, tap, tap. It doesn't matter if you switch the leading arm on those front raises. As long as you're staying even and getting them both in, it's okay. Two and 1, okay? Next, we have our double bicep curl with the top hold to our double tricep kick with the bottom hold, okay? I'm gonna do it from the side view first, all right? Here we go, 3, 2, 1, curl, curl and hold, hinge it, kick back, hold, return, curl, curl, hinge, kick back, return, curl, curl, hinge, kick back. 2 and 1, okay? Butt kicker and row here. So from that standing position, it's more the heels coming back towards the glute. I'll do this one from a side view too, because you usually see me head on for this one. All right, remember, it's like a rowboat, okay? Kind of out to the side here. Here we go. Again, so pulling that foot back gives a nice muscle contraction in the hamstring. And pulling those elbows back gives a nice muscle contraction in that mid back. Almost there. 5 more seconds. And time, okay, we have one more round. Okay, one more round and we're all done. Okay, so final round of an alternating side step with the lateral raise to alt front raise. Here we go, seated or standing. Lateral tap. 10 more seconds. And time, okay. Back to that double bicep curl with the top hold to double tricep kick back with the bottom hold, okay? Here we go, do it from the front this time. Here we go. Curl, curl and hold, hinge, kick back, hold, return, curl, curl and hold, hinge, kick back, hold, return. Ten more seconds. And time, okay. Last 45 seconds of work for the day in this class is our butt kicker and row, rowboat row. Here we go in 3, 2, and 1. Let's finish off. Almost there. 15 seconds. Last 5. And time. All right, guys. that is a wrap. We're gonna do a quick cool down and then we can be on with our day. Okay, so whether you're seated or standing, I'm gonna do mine seated today, okay? We're going to do a neck and trap stretch. All right, so I'm just gently pulling and pressing, breathing into it. Good, and then come out of that. Let's do the same thing on the other side. Gently pressing and pulling. And back to center here. Let's go ahead and lift our arms up. And exhale and forward fold down. Just wherever your body wants to go. Just let gravity do the work. Don't force anything, okay? Seated might be a better option if you feel it's hard to bend forward from a standing position. Feel that lower back stretch out. And then very slowly, so we don't get dizzy, just roll up one vertebrae at a time. All right, rolling the shoulders back a few times here. Okay, let's go ahead and sit on the edge of your chair and give a lateral straight leg here. And we're stretching the inner thigh and groin area. If you'd like to do the standing, you hold on to the back of your chair. I have the chair in front of me here. Okay, you can do this standing like that. All right, just remain seated. Okay, bring it back to center. Same thing, other side. Might notice one side's a little tighter than the other. That's normal, not symmetrical on either side. Back to center. And then our final stretch we're gonna reach across the body and pull that elbow into the shoulder, right? And thinking about the back of that arm, stretching maybe a little bit of the front of the shoulder as well. I mean the back of the shoulder and the front of the shoulder, not the arm. And same thing other side. Pulling that elbow in close towards the body. And go ahead and release. Let's do two big inhales up. We're going to inhale up, palms together, exhale the heart. And one more time. Inhale up, palms together, exhale to heart. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's class.
Hi, everyone. This is Z from Yonkers Public Library. Thanks so much to Sally Pinto and Alexis from Newark. Thank you to our community partners, WJCS, the City of Yonkers Office for the Aging, Friends of Crestwood Library, and Yonkers Public Library for making this phenomenal partnership. And we thank each and every one of you for being part of our wellness community. Be well, stay well.